My name is Bertish. I'm 42 years old. I am an inspirational speaker, author, big wave surfer, Waterman Pioneer, and apparently I supped across the Atlantic Ocean. It was very unique. Obviously, there's nothing like it that really exists on the planet, and it was designed and built for one purpose and one goal only, and that was to get me across the Atlantic Ocean in one piece. And I pretty much took everything that I've learned from sailing and the navigation side, all the electronics that I need, all the safety gear that I needed. Then I took all my knowledge from the big wave surfing side, and I took some of the safety factors like my big wave leash, which I had attached to around my ankle all the time, which no one else does. I took some of my old school climbing training. I ended up using a proper climbing harness to be able to tether myself to the craft, and then I took some of the open ocean ideas and I took a lot of some of the elements that they use in regarding to their craft and created something completely unique, which was way smaller, way lighter, a lot narrower, and the freeboard, which was only about 3.5 inches from the water. So I was pretty much underwater, 2 to 3 inches under the water. The deck was under the water. Basically 80% of the time I actually felt like I was sinking, because I actually was literally slowly sinking. So I was looking for really calm weather whenever I could to be able to open my hatches, be able to take out some of my food and any emergency water if I needed it to be able to get me through certain difficult times. I was operating as in paddling between 10 and 15 hours a day. So your body processes normally about 1 liter an hour when you're exercising. So I had to train my body to be able to operate on half the amount of water, because the systems that I could function on, that I could charge, were challenging. I think the first 6 weeks was the toughest, because I had my main steering system completely break, and I had to jury rig a new steering system just before I got stuck in a storm. Mentally, like, incredibly stressful times. I'm being surrounded by giant tankers with, like, in that shipping lane between the Canary Islands and Africa. I mean, there was one time where I took a picture. I had I think it was 15 super tankers that were passing like either side of me. Like you can see them on the AIS screen, and I was surrounded by about 12 to 15 tankers that are 700 to 900 feet long. I've got what's called the Garmin Phoenix, which monitors my heart rate and my stroke rate and everything else, and that's how I can work out that I took just under 2.5 million strokes across this journey, which also measures my heart rate. And I think when I took that picture of the AIS with all the ships passing me in the middle of the night when I was stuck on para-anchor and I wasn't able to move, they're all like going so close to me that my resting heart rate at the time was, I think it was 48 or 52, and it has spiked up to 208. And that gives you an idea of how stressful some of the situations were that I was dealing with. When you have really insurmountable obstacles and challenges that you've got to deal with, you've got to work out that you've got to be 100%, have 100% belief in yourself, and an unwavering belief in yourself that you can get through anything. And then if you add your purpose on that, if you have a purpose that's really powerful, that's greater than yourself, like what I was doing this for, then I've got millions of little kids I felt like that it was my responsibility that was on my shoulders. And when you've got a purpose like that that's really emotionally very powerful, and that they're relying on you, then it's a really enormous driving force that'll get you through and over and help you get through any sort of obstacle and challenge that comes your way. Which time? I had a really big great white come and try and attack my rudder in the middle of the daytime. So that was a really unique experience, because I love sharks and I've got a huge utmost respect for them. I think they're actually just beautiful creatures, and they're probably the most misunderstood creatures of the sea. But I know great whites really well, coming from South Africa, and this creature came at speed, obviously from deep. It was middle of the day. They don't normally hunt in the day, and the viz was probably 30 meters, so it was crystal clear, that beautiful blue Atlantic Ocean. And it came up at speed to try and attack the side of the craft, and obviously go for my rudder. And at the last minute, it just aggressively turned away, slapped the side of the craft, and then came straight underneath me. And then swam off and then came back. And if they want to know more about that experience in a lot of detail, they're going to have to wait for my book to come out. That was an interesting story in itself, because I was meant to have really good freeze-dried food, which is meant for these kind of adventures. And when I went to go and pick up the food 3 days before I left, the company went bankrupt, and I wasn't able to get any of the food that I had chosen, which was everything that I was hoping to take with me, which was very cleverly and well chosen. And my team had to put together and try and find another 2 or 3 different distributors that could put together little packs for me, and ended up having 4 different packs. None of them I ever would have chosen because they weren't what I would wanted to have eaten, but I ended up actually eating those three of those 4 packs every single day for 93 days. And every time I look down at it, after 40 days, your body almost convulses. It just doesn't want to actually process it anymore, and it doesn't want you lose your appetite when you see it. But I just actually thought of like all the little kids that we're doing this for, and a lot of those kids, through the Lunchbox Fund, a lot of those kids don't even have food the night before or the following morning. The only reason why they go to school is to get that little lunchbox. So I ended up having to really process mentally an attitude of gratitude and remind myself that never to take anything for granted. I actually had food in front of me, even if it was not what I wanted, and I'd be eating it for 50 days in a row. My first book has done phenomenally well. It's called Stoked. It's a story about my upbringing and getting to the Mavericks event, and it's a pretty crazy, incredible story. And then the next story will be it'll be called Going the Distance, and that's the next book, and the film, which hopefully we'll be doing over the next year or two. So I was doing a video log, and I was doing a captain's log while I was doing the whole journey as well. So I think that's what made it even more extreme, is that there were so many different layers to this project. It wasn't just paddling across the ocean. I was doing a captain's log, writing a little blog every couple of days. I was doing shooting video myself personally along this whole journey with different GoPros under the water, above the water, during like different pretty hectic situations, and filming it. So it's pretty difficult being the athlete, the film guy, the blog guy, writing notes for your book at the same time when you're trying to stay alive and get across the ocean. No matter whatever goal you ever want in life that you want to achieve, whatever dream you have, you can achieve anything. It's just about an attitude and mindset. See the positive and the negative. See the opportunity and the obstacle. Take daily steps and actions towards your goal. If you believe it and you can see it and you truly believe it, then you can achieve it. Because if you can take daily steps and actions towards those goals, you persevere, you focus, you never give up, you'll always get there, because nothing's impossible unless you believe it to be. Thanks very much.